Welcome to another fantasy football show. That was very abrupt. The silence you heard before we started recording,
said a
that
joke
was
before. Yeah,
Justin's
it's hard to keep our cool.
mellow joke.
I was just I see a hat, I read it, and that was it. I was just trying to see. I just wondering what Mellow was, and then we had a little conversation.
What
and then
would
you just
be the
started the
female
podcast.
version of Mellow? Would it?
I thought it. Yeah.
Would it be like Kelsey Plum or something? Right?
A little bit.
I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not
sure.
sure.
Yeah, come on. I'm not
version
trying
of
to get
Mellow.
too crazy with it. Yeah.
I feel like that's insulting these days. You're like a lot of talent, but no rings at all. Like not close.
A lot of offensive talent.
A lot of offensive talent.
Yeah.
Did he make his team better? I don't know.
I think he did, but then he didn't. It changed.
It's hard to shoot. Hard to shoot when there's only one basketball and you're playing with Mellow. But for our audio listeners, Taylor's wearing a hat that says Mella. It's a watermelon beverage. I don't know. You explain it better, but
just a watermelon energy.
Listen,
we're off track.
I love watermelon, and I love fantasy football. So this is like, you're pairing some things here. And free shout out to whoever that is. They're like, man, look at sales just doubled.
They tripled because I'm wearing.
Yeah,
this is massive. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
a super in sync live read for Mella.
Yes.
Yeah. Supernatural. Anyways, we're back ahead of week 6 here, wrapping up some week 5 news. Get to the injury rundown a little bit. Some big names going to IR: Justin Jefferson, Devin Achane, and James Conner. So RIP to anyone's roster that had any of those combination of 3. Some might have had all 3. So that's
I feel like there's a couple slips with all 3. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson too, not included in that, but obviously he's hitting IR as well. So tough break for anyone looking for a quarterback. Maybe you're streaming Matthew Stafford. That's happening in my league. Maybe you're streaming Sam Howell.
I'm starting Sam Howell. I don't know about streaming. I love him. Sorry.
Okay. So 14-team league, I'm in. The person who had Anthony Richardson picked up Sam Howell. And he's rostering Jordan Love. So
that sucks.
That's with fire.
That sounds gross.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now you can maybe win with like a 1 quarterback league with Howell if you have like you waited for a quarterback like you do sometimes, right? But to have a super flex league with 2 quarterbacks that are one's maybe slightly above ineptitude and the other one is slightly under ineptitude. I don't know if I'm even using that word correctly. Regardless, yeah, you can't have 2 mediocre quarterbacks in Superflex. I don't care how many things you can fill out your roster with. You can't have Love and Howell together in the same room. Yeah,
Dynasty's tough. Like I have Jalen Hurts and CJ Stroud in one, and I'm like, thank God Stroud is good because I've been screwed.
You don't have to worry about what's around him. He's just throwing it to everybody. I know Tank Dell just got a concussion, so that means maybe Nico Collins is going to go crazy this week. So but it doesn't matter what the game script is. It's like Houston, even if they win or lose, it's like we're running Pierce maybe 14 times, and then Stroud's throwing for 100. That's what they're 100 times.
100 times. No, I want to see him throw the ball 100 times.
Yeah.
Getting to some other injuries. Austin Ekeler back for fantasy owners this week. Saquon Barkley also back for fantasy owners this week. Looking like he's on track. Obviously, we're projecting for Sunday and then for Monday for Austin Ekeler, but he said 99% sure he's back. Definitely, he needed him in his league, so that's why he's back. But not expecting either one to be 100%, but good to see him back out there. First week back from high ankle sprains. Austin Ekeler obviously a week earlier than Saquon, so he'll be a little bit better. Javonte is going to play. Javonte Williams playing through that quad, missed 1 game. I don't know how their splits are going to match up him and McLaughlin because it seems like McLaughlin's just bottle energy out there.
Got a burst.
He had the one bobble catch against the Jets that he ran in. So I don't know. I feel like it's a good waiver wire pickup depending on what waiver wire priority you had. I don't know. Justin's in a Fab league, so I don't even know how to value people in
That's
Fab.
fun, man. Fab is fun, but you can't. I feel like what's crazy is when I read a bunch of articles, because there are articles that they designate at the end of it will be like, yeah, this much Fab. That is never an accurate description of a Fab league because people are psychopaths, man. Like if there's if there's this amount of Fab, if they want their guy, they're gonna exceed that mark every time. So if this is just a PSA to everybody's in a Fab league, and by now you probably have already realized that if you're trying to get the guy based off of articles Fab and you just keep getting outbid, it's going to continue to happen. If you want somebody, you get them. All right, you got to go a little higher.
There's no market value for crazy. And that's always a crazy factor in the league.
Like Gus Edwards, Devin Achane, like those are guys that like if you wanted them and they were out on your waiver for a second, then you're spending all your Fab budget because there's certain situations that like that's going to be the guy. Like you're getting a starter for the whole season. So that's when you're like, why are you saving your 80 Fab when you should just blow it all on the guy you like, so
right.
Didn't get me.
All right, getting to the rest of the injury rundown. Jahmyr Gibbs not practicing today. Mon Ra is practicing with his groin. They've been calling it abdomen, but by video it seemed like groin. He reached for it after his touchdown against Justin's team. Sorry to kick you when you're down, Justin.
No, it's fine. How do you practice football with your groin? I feel like that would be hard to do. Oh, you're talking injuries. Oh, sorry. You said you said he was practicing with his groin.
Like, where are you going?
All right. Sorry. I just very visual person.
You don't want to too much. You don't want to practice too much with your groin. That's
yeah.
Chris Olave picked up a toe injury before last game. Limited today with the toe, so wasn't too effective last game. I think he ended up with 2 catches, although the game was a blowout. So I don't know how effective that is.
No, but there's stats that I was looking at. He didn't look good. His target share was down a lot. He wasn't moving, his depth of target. So there is slight concern that it might be something more. We need to keep look, but he did injure it right before the game. So I wouldn't think he would be good anyways, right? So maybe a week will be a little better. But yeah, his numbers didn't show that. It looked like he was affected by the toe injury.
Yeah, I think that's a general PSA too. If anyone picks something up in warm-ups, I know it's Chris Olave. He's got to be in your lineup, but just, I don't know, maybe 50-50 call if you play him or a backup option.
By then, you still had about like half an hour.
Yeah.
I think it was pregame. And that's something you should have took him out. Also, from a betting standpoint, just take everybody's under. Like if you hear like, oh, Aaron Jones just targeting you again.
That's fine.
Picked up he didn't actually do this, but he picked up a hamstring pregame, but he still tried to fight through. Just take his unders. There's no way he's going to be able to play through that hamstring mere hours after getting
But the team doesn't have time to call up someone for the practice squad in an hour and play in the game. So
he's either going to sit on the side or play very poorly. Yeah.
T. Higgins missed last week with the rib fracture. He's LP today, so maybe a positive sign, but don't know if that rib will be healed in a week. He might still have to take a rib block injection, which
I have a question for you guys
too.
On that. Hesitant yet? From like us standpoint, us three, would you guys take a rib block?
I mean,
on purpose to play football? No.
Am I getting paid either way or what?
Yeah, you're getting paid. Yes, you're getting
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Does it depend on the schedule? Like, oh, we're playing the Cardinals this week. No. Oh, we're playing the Patriots or we're playing the Cowboys. Like
Super Bowl.
I'm taking it.
All right.
Here's my theory: if you're situationally thinking about it, then you're not doing it. Like you're like, oh, I want to play when you're playing this. Like remember, like Doc always says, like no one's looking at like, oh, it's the Cardinals. Like the Dallas Cowboys, maybe they did, right? And that's what happened to them. But no, I think that's something that you either want to do or you don't. Like I feel like my family's they've done nursing and stuff. I grew around that, so I feel like I would just take that. Take it to a little pop, to the side and
pop to the ribs.
Pop to the side one day,
Make it sound so pleasant.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Just take a little.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The part that they're scared about is not the actual insertion. That does not hurt that much.
Yeah.
Pause. Right. You guys.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's the actual. Like they're scared of what would happen. The ramifications. Right. With Tyler Taylor with the popped lung and like it's the risk. But like that doesn't happen. It's like lightning. Like, oh, I'm not going to go outside because it's raining out and I'm going to get hit by lightning. Like, what are you going to stay inside forever?
Maybe a little bit. It's like, oh, if I play through with it numbed, am I going to hurt another rib or something like that? Like, am I going to take a hit and not know that I broke another rib?
We've seen Drew Brees say, hell yeah, play with it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. If, like, I think it's like people that are like, discomfort, like they're going to play through it. Like Derek Carr, there's theories that he's not the most toughest person in nice terms, but like he did do it, so there, I think that's credit. Yeah. I don't know if it's a give credit thing. I think it's something that like recency bias people don't want to do now, but it's something like there was only 16 games back day you're playing. Now there's 17. If you're just not going to do it and play one game, I mean, like that, I don't like that. Just play.
Yeah. I think T. Higgins got the bye next week too, so maybe that's in consideration.
But I am saying this, and I've never done any of these rib breaking, and I might easily.
Maybe we try it. Maybe we just try it. Yeah, like it's an off season. I think that's an off season thing.
On video. Play football. I think that's all clear to everybody.
Make me eat my words. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the dudes and duds.
Dudes and duds.
Should I just get mine out of the way? You guys obviously
unfortunately don't. You have to start with Justin's.
Yeah, you don't love it, but let me just say it. Listen, I feel like leagues that have kickers, I feel like that Taylor's a little upset that I even picked one.
Yeah.
Kaimi Fairbairn.
Right.
Kaimi Fairbairn. See, I figure if you know you're going to say it wrong, say it 5 times in a row wrong. Kaimi Fairbairn, 4 for 4 on the field goals, and 1 for 1 extra points. The dude's been crushing it. If you check his stats, he's literally been double-digit fantasy kicker for the past 3 weeks, and that offense, I think, is only getting better. I know Tank Dell obviously just has a concussion. He'll probably be out this week, but they move the ball, and they got offensive line help back. I think they're going to do a lot more moving the ball, and it's like they're also not like the greatest show on turf. They're not Miami, so like I think they're good enough to move the ball. There may not be finishers, and that's why I feel like this situation. Fairbairn's definitely somebody you can just have. Again, we're not going to spend a long time on this, but kicker leagues, find Fairbairn, put him on your roster, be happy. There it is. Okay.
No, you finding a kicker that's getting 10 points 3 straight games, that's good. I mean, anyone's going to put that in, especially like leagues like Scott Fish. Like this week, I started 2 kickers, so I'm totally with you. I might sound like a kicker hater, but I will do it if I need to, So no, that's good to have that. I will say, just like a devil's advocate, with those left tackles back, I think they move the ball better. So maybe they don't need to kick as many field goals. And he was kicking ones from a deeper distance, right? Because they're driving the ball in the middle. They would get like a 40-yard pass from to Nico Collins, and then 4 straight runs with nothing from Pierce, right? So you get a little field goal. So maybe they do move a little better. But yeah, like you said, that's a dude. You're getting 10 plus points, as a kicker. You take that.
Kickers need love too.
Yeah, week 5. We're already picking kickers. All right, not even bye weeks going on.
Yes.
Well, there was 4 bye teams. I'll give you that, Justin. My dude's Travis Etienne, playing in a home game in London. Jaguars' future home, possibly. 26 carries for 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches for 48.
That's a big game.
All against the Bills.
Yeah, that's a big boy game. Yeah.
So shout out Travis.
All right. I got George Pickens. I've liked him all year. He's easily drafted, in the later rounds. I know we don't like Pickett in the fantasy community, but 6 catches, 130. He had a touchdown, the game-winning touchdown too. That was a big touchdown. That was a Ravens team that secondary is still having issues. Marlon Humphrey was back, but he was burnt on that touchdown by Pickens. So this was the first week I did see that, it wasn't just one big catch, like that Calvin Austin kid. He had 1 big catch and call it a day. Pickens seemed like he was running routes and being a huge part of the team. So if he doesn't need to do this, but if he can get 5 catches, 70, 75 yards each week and get a touchdown every other, I mean, you got a good pick later in the rounds in fantasy.
Yeah, I really like him. Obviously, the eye test, he looks really good, but he's somebody that's scary because if you look at his the box score fantasy stats, you're like, what is going on with this dude? Because he'll do
volatile.
This. Yeah, that's crazy to me because he's got the build that and the frame that says just throw the ball his way and he'll grab it. I don't know. It's not like a Tyler Lockett where he's going to go down the field and catch a deep ball and that's it. I feel like I think his game's kind of developed enough where just throw him the ball.
Throw more. Yeah,
throw him the ball more.
I know Deontay Johnson's coming back soon, but I don't think this means that to throw Pickens less. I think they should, like you said, he has enough talent to not just be the deep threat. He can do a little more, and they should start, do that a little more.
No, it's interesting because his only other competition when Deontay Johnson's out is Allen Robinson and Calvin Austin. So he should be doing a lot more. It seems like in the box score, 9 catches, 8 catches, automatic, but sometimes it's 4 catches.
Yeah, or that boomer bust
game. Boom bust game, but it's they already have people for that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to duds. I'll get mine out of the way. Romeo Dobbs, 4 targets, 1 reception, 4 yards. I say this because, listen.
Because you're a Packers fan.
I'm a Packers fan, yes. But, Watson was back. He played pretty much the whole game. I mean, he got the full load. I don't know what's going on over there in Green Bay. It's beginning to be I'm not going to tune in for the first half anymore of football games. I don't even think it's worth watching.
They pay better later. You're right.
They're not even a real team in the first half. Yeah. There's it's inconsequential. There's no stats that make any difference in the first half.
The Saints game was weird. You scored 17 straight points after you knocked out the quarterback. So that one was
nailed it.
It nailed it. No, there's a certain point that you guys were. It was pretending, you guys did look semi-decent in some of the games, but you're starting to knock those defensive injuries. I know Jair came back, but Campbell's been out. Now you had Quay Walker was out for majority of that game with a knee. You have no linebackers now.
Yeah.
Eric Stokes has been out all year. I know you guys love Rasul Douglas, but there's a certain point. There's a reason why you got him off waivers a year and a half ago, right? He's not the premier number 2 next to Jair Alexander. So. And then the running game is just not doing it. That was the first game Dylan did anything, but Raiders.
It was amazing. Yeah, Dylan legacy game. And he didn't even really do that much. But yeah, I think the reason I listen, I needed 3 points from Dobbs to win in one of my leagues. Didn't get it.
So this is kind of like a little like bias hatred.
Yeah. It's that mixed with the fact that I don't believe people when they say Romeo Doubs isn't good or not. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he gets a lot of
he gets relevant this year. I think people got excited and picked him up.
He's been fantasy relevant the past few weeks. He's been very serviceable.
Yeah, because Christian Watson was out.
Yeah, that's my
exactly.
theory.
But I'm not going to jump to a conclusion and say I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say he's not capable.
I think he's a good 2, but your offense isn't looking like it can sustain one. Like it's, if Aaron Jones has a 100-yard game, then I think your passing game has a terrible game.
All right, my dud is in that same London game because it's too early and I can't watch it on the West Coast. James Cook, 5 carries for -4, 3 catches, 25. I don't know about him this year. It's like the Lat Murray factor just creeping up into everybody's fantasy squad and making him relevant, and then nobody else in front of him relevant.
I used to be on him like early in the offseason. Then I read like he was 179 pounds and that I was worried about him running the ball in the end zone, which is like a key part of fantasy, like those key 6 points. And then they started like loading up on Murray and Damian Harris, who is like non-existent.
Also non-existent, but James Cook can't get anything either.
They all do the same thing. They all like TD dance and they don't do anything else, right? So it seems like there's something going on with Cook. He is very good at receiving. That 3 and 25 is like going to happen every game. But if he's only getting 5 carries and they're going away from him immediately like that, and Allen's going to run, they're going to throw more, he's becoming a bust every week.
Let me tell you, Cook's 5 rushing totals this year: 46, 123, 98, 29, -4.
Oh, that's hard to predict. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
It's all over the place.
I tell you what, when he ran for the 100+ and the 90, I was like, kind of want that guy on my team.
Against Raiders, so
Raiders, that's why
it doesn't count.
AJ Dillon looked semi-decent against the Raiders, so that's why I'm like anybody against them.
Who's your dud, Taylor?
My dud, let me open it up here. My dud is Devontae Smith. 1 catch for 6 yards. He has had every other game's been decent, but what I've been looking at is 2 games of under 30 yards this year. He's supposed to be able to sustain Jalen Hurts, Brown, and Devontae Smith. It seems like there's a lot of games where Smith isn't doing well and that Brown is having a big game. They're doing a lot of running well with the running back with Swift, Hurts. So it seems like Smith is the forgotten man. Goddard had a big game as well. So I don't want this to keep happening. Devontae Smith is supposed to be, a decent option. I've had him on a bunch of teams, but it's becoming a point that like if they don't want to utilize him, then he's not being used, and that's just that's a week without having one of your top 3 wide receivers.
Is he just not squeaky enough? I feel like he needs to have like an outburst on the sideline to get some attention.
Is he not squeaky? I was like,
he might not be squeaky enough. I don't know.
He's got to start squawking. He's not squeaky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He needs to go out there and just squawk a little bit, get the ball.
No,
it works.
AJ Brown has said anything, he's has 100 targets.
Yeah,
so. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I'm the one. He's not the one.
Yes,
throw to the one.
Yeah, because Smith was having a couple good games early on, but like I said, like the 2 games with under 30, that's becoming a bit of an issue. At least two of the last 4 games. Yeah.
I just want to do a read for our new injury edge. It's you can find it at sickscore.com on the website. We're giving it away for free this week, along with a week of sick data, so you can get all the field views, see the matchups. You can see that the defensive line is all red, so maybe you play the running back against them. Top corners out, maybe you play the wide receiver one against them. Sick pod is how you get that. SIC pod is the promo code. Again, that's at sicscore.com.
Is it data or data?
Sick.
It's whatever you want it to be, man.
Yeah, I think it's tomato kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think honestly, there is no right way to say that.
No, I've heard people say both. So yeah, I'm just
unless you're saying data. I don't think you want to say data.
Yeah. It sounds like your daughter saying data.
Data. Yeah, that's probably. I guess there is a wrong way you'd say it. And it's that.
Yes, that's true. Yes,
the only wrong way.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some leftovers.
The leftover.
It's honestly not a very big dish of leftovers, to be honest, this week.
Oh, it's I don't know. You got to scrounge around for some leftovers.
I think is it still tasty though?
If you're hungry enough, yeah.
You paused too long. You looked at me for a second, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Thanksgiving's coming up. It's like the 8th day after Thanksgiving. Like all the good stuff probably already spoiled, thrown out.
Yeah.
Then you got like I don't know. Couple of stale pieces of cornbread.
All right, talk about the cornbread.
Yeah, now insult these players. Thank you.
Let's speak on the cornbread.
Diamonds in the rough is what we should call them. Which maybe there's a diamond in your cornbread, but I don't know. Cardinals running back situation. I got Obviously, DeMarcado got snapped up on waivers for most people.
Yeah, he's like 61% now. He's no longer like a leftover.
That was massive. It was like 1% to like 60%. So
sorry, I don't know how to say that.
Huge gain, yeah.
Yes.
Some other options there. Keontae Ingram missed last week with a neck. They said he's going to be back this week, so I don't know what to make of that. We have to look more into his neck injury. You can find that on Sick Insights if we ever get to the bottom of that. But it seems like he's practicing this week. And then Tony Jones, they claimed off of the Saints practice squad. So 2 capable options. I think Keontae Ingram got some work last year when Connor was out. DeMarcado's new. He's an undrafted rookie, so drafted by this regime. Make that what you will. It seemed like it was all DeMarcado last week, but no Ingram to factor in. So
yeah, I kind of went in on DeMarcado. I was like, I picked him up. I fabbed him up. But I did not have any interest in Ingram because if I didn't get DeMarcado, I definitely didn't want both. But I just don't. No offense to him, but I just don't think he's got the track record of performance. If you look back at what he's done, it's really been pretty unspectacular. I'm pretty sure Eno Benjamin was the guy last year for them.
They switched around.
He's the one that stepped up and actually looked like the guy. So we're hoping DeMarcado becomes Eno Benjamin this year and does something fantasy relevant. And he has the opportunity to do that now. So I'm not really in on Ingram, but if he's laying around and you have a spot, it might be worth it to just see. I mean, you never know. It's a new year. But I'm not really big on a guy who hasn't really produced coming off a neck injury, getting a whole bunch of opportunity. We'll see.
Are you higher on him or a guy that doesn't know the playbook in Tony Jones?
You can learn a playbook. You can't fix a neck, right? Necks are broken forever. I think that's
one
how
is
that
a
works.
little quicker than the other.
Alrighty.
You're probably right about that. All right, give me some other leftovers.
I have one. I got Kendrick Bourne. So the Patriots have no receivers right now. I don't know if they're going to utilize them or not, but
sorry, we're watching the Phillies. Bryce Harper just hit a 2-run shot. Nick Castellanos hit a home run during the broadcast earlier. 3-run shot.
It was a 3-run shot.
Phillies up 4-1.
Kendrick Bourne is a big one. You have Douglas has a concussion. Schuster, I believe, is a concussion.
Schuster's concussion also.
Yeah, so there's not many receiving options there. Kendrick Bourne is a decent option. He's 16% owned in Sleeper right now and other fantasy options, fantasy platforms. That's a good one.
Does he roll with Zappy?
I don't think it matters.
Exactly the question we thought we'd be asking ourselves in week 6.
Yeah. No, Jones will be there.
Does Kendrick Bourne mesh with Bailey Zappi?
And Jones, because it's probably going to be both. It's like a college game.
They didn't want to go Zappi. They warmed him up twice. I saw it last week's game. They're like, Zappy's warming up. And they're like, Mac Jones is coming out again.
Exactly. He was like 3 for 9 or 4 for 9. So like he didn't do anything to change.
Yeah, it wasn't any different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last one, I don't know if we want to really touch on the Chicago Bears running backs, but if Deonta Foreman is still hanging, Deonta Foreman might be somebody you can scoop up. But yeah, there were thoughts that Herbert might actually go to the IR. It hasn't happened yet as the time of this recording.
Herbert,
yeah. So
Roshan
I don't know.
Johnson's in concussion protocol, so they are on to Foreman now. That's
And Foreman last year, I watched extensively on the Panthers.
Carolina, yes.
Dude was big. He was balling.
A big boy. Yes,
he runs angry. He's a different kind of runner.
Yeah. So pick him up. Maybe I don't know if you're if no one else is around, he's a good start this week, regardless of who he's playing, just based on volume. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like that's a very weird situation because it kind of felt like the Roshan's ascending anyway, and they would love to probably in this scenario they would love for him to get this full opportunity to be like, let's see what he's got, give him the load. But if he's in concussion protocol, they're
he
probably
runs so
sitting.
Violently. Like I don't want to say that was coming, but like every run he like through, he's tossing people. You know, like he's using all of his body.
It's good and bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's got the Pacheco run style, which Pacheco's violent. That guy's crazy. He's like not even huge at all, but he just like seeks out people.
Angry, absolutely.
Not exactly leftover. I just want to give a shout out to Kadarius Toney. If he's not on anybody's roster, maybe he should be on yours. He plays Denver twice in the next 4 weeks and the Chargers. I'm just saying.
Do you feel good saying
bye weeks are tough. They're coming up. Just get,
he had six targets, 5 receptions last week. That's pretty good for him.
He's getting more.
26 total yards.
Yeah, that's wide receiver 50, guys. So let's not get too excited here.
All right, fine. Pick him up if you're listening. We're recording this Wednesday. Listen to this before the Thursday night game. Pick him up because he's going to go off on Thursday night. You could trade him. Maybe.
Sell him.
I will say. So I'll say good things right now for you. Ready? He literally has Denver, Chargers, and then Denver again.
I'm telling you, these are the weeks.
Those are the
weeks
three
to play
of the, those
him
are
if he's at
two
all
of the
playable.
worst passing defenses in the league right now. You have Miami next, who will just willingly go in a shootout with you.
Yep.
So that's it's a decent little exchange of games for you there.
See?
If you like that.
Talked you into it by the end of it.
I'm not talking about anything.
Well, here's the deal:
like
if he can't do it at all in the next 3 weeks, fire him to the moon,
might
bro.
Never will.
Fire him to the moon.
Okay,
Agree.
yeah, fire him to the moon. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
It didn't take a lot to get you on the fire the moon train.
Yes.
All right, let's get to shootouts and droughts.
It's some shootouts and droughts.
Top one of the week is actually the Monday game, Cowboys and the Chargers. Over under 50.5.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know. It depends. Can Dallas move the ball? I mean, I don't know.
Dallas's defense is good. Their offense is horrid, right? But that is a high total because the Chargers can move the ball very well, even without Mike
And
Williams.
they can't stop anybody from moving the ball.
And
I'm hesitant to say either side of the ball on Dallas is good. I've seen good from both of them, but I've seen absolutely horrid from both of them too. So it's like, what is
That's
it?
a lot of teams, I feel like, though.
Well, it's. I think the variance for Dallas is violent. That's terrifying. Like,
correct. Yeah,
I think they multiplied on like the solo game stage too. Like Monday night, I feel like it goes worse. It trends bad.
Yeah, this is going to be scary. I mean, obviously, if you have the Dallas player, if you have Pollard, you have CeeDee Lamb, you're going to throw him out there for sure. But like, I don't know, man. They're scary to me. You're going to go crazy when you're with your Tony Pollard for 3 fantasy points. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what he had last week. I think it was like 3 or 4.
I wasn't drafting him this year, so arguably, like Tony Pollard, like with the offensive line, it's just more to it. But like, that team was going to pass more, and then now they're going behind in games. So now they're completely forgetting the run game entirely, right? So
yeah,
I think this is going to be the perfect. Sorry to cut you off for the Tony Pollard, but I think it's going to be the perfect Dak experience for everybody because he's going to play the Niners, and everybody's like, oh, what is Dak doing in the league still? And then he's going to tear apart the Chargers, and they're going to be like, you know what? That Dak guy can throw.
Yeah,
that's the movie. No one would go to it. The Dax experience. I don't want to be a part of that.
Now in 4D Dak.
Yeah. Honestly,
yeah.
If they do another Jekyll and Hyde, it's just like they're bad again. They got to do something, right? Like I'm on the bandwagon of firing Mike McCarthy because I just think he's stale.
You don't like him as a Packers
He's
fan.
stale.
Yeah.
He's stale.
Yeah,
He's been around forever, and he's not. His innovation ability is zero.
He hasn't done anything innovative anymore.
Yeah. He's just resting on his. Is it laurels? Laurels.
It is laurels. Yeah.
That's it. For some reason, I thought it was morals, but he's resting on those too. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
I don't think there's a Cowboys fan out there that loves Mike McCarthy as their coach.
I don't think there is any of them. I don't even think half of them like Jerry Jones too, but like they deal with that. But
you have no choice.
Mike McCarthy, I think it easily changed, but it just hasn't yet, right?
It's just like a slight upgrade on Jason Garrett. So it's like comparatively, it's a good hire.
Well, I think they should have went to Kellen Moore. I think that them letting go is dumb because like that kept the staleness there. You know what I mean? Like now, like Moore was pretty innovative, right? He's a young guy. His offense, that vertical offense he was doing was working. But like you guys signed Brandon Cooks to like probably like go with the vertical offense, and then you got Mike McCarthy who wants to throw to tight, or Jerry Jones, he wants to throw to the tight ends more. It's like all right, that's not going to work. This isn't the 1980s where you got 2 elite tight ends catching the ball. This is different, but no, they have a lot to work on. So I can totally understand if you're fading Pollard and such.
Thursday game, Denver at KC, 47.5. Doing that's all KC.
KC. I think Denver can score. I think they're good at chasing because they've done it so much.
They're used to it.
They're like, oh, we're losing.
1-4,
14-0. Let's start running. Yeah. But the thing is, the Chiefs are one of the worst teams at covering spreads, especially large spreads. And a large spread within a game of an interdivision game. So if you're a team that
10.5 still,
if you're a double-digit spread in a game that's within division, it's like a 60% chance that Broncos cover and teams like that cover. Because it's a division game. You're fighting. That's scrappy. That's the game the coaches were fighting for. That's what they rested players for, right? So that's an interesting one. I think that might be a close game, which might speak to the under, right?
That's an interesting one.
Russell Wilson, I think is like a QB1 right now. Like I think he's
if you look at his stats, Russell Wilson is good this year.
He's a million times better than he was last year.
Rushing yards last week, he was like 60 rushing yards, something like that. 40 something. I don't know.
Not been terrible. I mean, they can. I don't think the offense has been. It's again like it's been pretty stale. But there's been moments where there's putting points on the board at least. I mean, it might not be pretty, but it's happening. I don't know. I mean, people are like all on Kansas City's defense this week, and I don't know. This feels like a trap. I don't think they're going to lose, but I don't think I don't know if they're going to stop the Broncos from putting up 20-plus points.
Like Thursday game, Chiefs are just trying to go out and just win barely. They don't need to do anything else. They don't need to prove to us, like, oh, we're going to kill them by 70 points. Like, no, Dolphins need to do that to show, like, they're the team that has the offense. They had a point to prove. Chiefs just go in, win a division game, and call it a day. It doesn't care how much they win by.
I think Justin Jefferson was out for most of that second half, too, and they still let Kirk Cousins come back in the game, gave up like 20 points. So I don't know if KC's defense is all that, especially early on. I'll do a little different for the next two. Carolina at Miami, Arizona at the Rams, both 48.5. Which one's more likely to go over? Might be too easy with Miami, but
it does. No, it's not too easy because I don't know if there's enough in the world to compensate for Carolina's ineptitude.
Is it too early to say that Bryce Young was the wrong move?
No, it's definitely too early. I think we're too early. It's still too early.
You can definitely say definitively that Stroud is a better quarterback right now, right?
I would rather have Stroud. I would have rather had Stroud before the draft. I just thought he was.
So there's rumors that a whole Panther team did too, but Dave Tepper, who gets his fingers in all the pies,
okay,
he went into the draft pie this time and specifically wanted Bryce Young, which was not maybe the right move. But yeah, you're right. It's definitely too early from a dynasty perspective.
That team is so bad. That's not a real offensive line. I've never seen these people in my life.
They're just young. It's just weird. It's young. Like the right tackle, Taylor Motton, is like really good. Left tackle, they got last year. You can't say you're gonna say they drafted wrong. Like that kid from North Carolina State's supposed to be good. I can't say his name. I'm sorry.
It's better just not to attempt it.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, it's right, like.
I will say the left guard and the right guard have been out all year.
Yep.
So he's already been down. It's like, but Stroud, see, that's the thing. Stroud's been balling with 4 offensive linemen out. So you're like, Bryce Young's been bad because 2 offensive line out. He's like, I double that. I'm CJ Stroud.
You can say Stroud. You can say Stroud is better. I think that's perfectly fine. But you can't say Bryce Young's bad. Period.
I think the Texans' offense was built for Stroud. He's got the Dells. Like that's what when they drafted Burrow, they drafted Higgins too. Because you can't just like have a team because Chase wasn't there yet. You can't just have a team that was just like, oh, we're drafting Burrow. Bad offensive line. Maybe Tyler Boyd will help.
Mingo.
What
about Mingo?
But like
Adam
as I said,
the real goat.
Thielen is a safety blanket to help him move the ball down the field. Chark is fun, but like it's not like it's not moving the needle at all. Hayden Hurst is RIP some weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He should
retire.
He's not playing. He's not playing well. Like he's also was made for a safety blanket kind of thing too. He's just like.
Yeah, I think
he's more a blocker maybe too as well. Are
we still saying hashtags out loud? Because I think hashtag get Bryce more blankets is we need him. Every player on the team needs to be a safety, little safety blanket for him.
There you go.
More blankets, Bryce. Does that mean Arizona and the Rams is going over?
Yes.
If we're saying that's the more likely game to go over,
let's do it.
Why wouldn't that game go over?
Connor's gone. They're slinging it. Dobbs is going nuts. Dobbs, Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown is fine this year.
He's been really good. Yeah,
we were a little worried about him with the foot.
Rondo Moore just needs one touch, So no, it's definitely something that could work.
Does everybody already have Michael Wilson too? What did you do last week?
They should after the 2 touchdown game. I mean, he's not something that's going to move the ball down the field. He's a red zone guy, so that was just a big 2 touchdown game. But he can score every other game if he needs to.
Very encouraging for Puka owners, at least for this one game. And I think we were talking yes, if you were going to ever consider selling Puka, I think right now would be the time to do it because there is now proof that they have coexisted once successfully. If it gets to the point where Puka has a down week and Cooper Kupp's still blowing up,
it's going to happen.
It's gone. All that value is gone.
The moving the ball from like the 1 yard line to like 99 was all Kupp. And then you had like the 1 touchdown. Like that's going to be. You're going to have 115 yards, 125 from Kupp, maybe a touchdown. Puka's going to have 30 to 60 every week with 1 touch. He's going to be the touchdown guy more because Kupp's going to be catching everything down the field. They're going to be throwing to Higbees and the cows and the end zone. So
they both had 30+ target shares, which is pretty bonkers.
Stafford is not running the ball at all. Kyron, I know you love Kyron, but the last couple of weeks stat wise,
flat.
He's the most ineffective running back in the entire league.
Yeah.
So Stafford is not going to ever not throw the ball, and he looks like he's doing a good enough job this year too, sustaining, like you said, 2 wide receivers. So there's a certain point that you can sell him, but I think like if he doesn't have a touchdown, that's a pretty bland week, right?
Right. I'm not saying to sell him. I have Puka, and I just can't break this party up. I can't be the one to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would take for me to do it. I probably
Feels so
would
good
if I saw somebody amazing. Obviously, if like somebody said Tyreek Hill for a package for Puka and something else, yeah, I would obviously do it. But I want to ride this thing until the wheels fall off. I just think it's awesome, and we'll see how it goes going into week 6.
Last game I have in here is Colts at Jags, 46.5. Does Gardner Minshew make that offense better? Is a valid question.
I don't want to watch this football game.
I say no.
It's a valid response.
I say no.
I don't know. I think I don't know. You can't really. I don't know. Richardson threw the ball a lot more successfully than I thought he would in the first few weeks of the season.
Right.
So I'll give him credit for that, and it might be due to the fact that his ability to run might have opened up a lot more opportunity to get people open.
It always does.
Minshew is going to be there, and as much as I might be a fan of him, just
take a snap
as
he
a
can
person,
hand the ball off. Yeah,
he's going to hand the ball off. He's not. I don't think he's bad. You could do much worse for a backup quarterback, but it's just not going to be exciting. You're hoping that he can throw the ball to Pittman enough to sustain that, and then who knows? That's it.
Anybody worried about Jonathan Taylor? I would say don't. We talked about it earlier this week on the Sports Injury Central podcast with Pro Football Doc. He said basically you're not going to burn a guy first week when you signed him to all that money. You're going to ease him in. So the Zach Moss 23-6 split, I don't see that going on.
The only thing you should be worried about is it's probably more of a 1A, 1B than it was ever in his career.
Yeah.
Now, he usually gets 28, like a David Montgomery kind of game. I don't think he's going to get that anytime soon. There's going to be,
he's going to be like 16 to 20 carries.
Yeah.
Maybe,
so
in a good game. Yeah.
Moss is going to get his 10 carries a game. And that wasn't the last couple of years. You didn't have that. So the only thing that would hurt him in fantasy, like, because Doc is definitely right. He's going to get more opportunities. He's not going to burn him first game. But I think like you should be scared of Moss a bit. You're not getting like Taylor was always the first round pick because he was getting 28 carries, 150, 1 to 2 touchdowns, maybe a couple catches. Now you're getting 10 carries less than that. So we'll see what he does with that in the first couple games.
Yeah. Upgrade for Pittman, downgrade for Pittman.
I think it's the same.
Yeah, same grade until proven otherwise. Yeah.
I know you think you saw good things from Anthony Richardson passing. That's not necessarily what I saw.
No, okay. I'm saying I was more than I anticipated. That's what I said. I didn't say he was like lighting it up.
That means your expectations are in the toilet.
They were lower. No,
he was my remember when we did our little pick earlier in the season? I was like, this man's not throwing the ball. Give me Stroud, give me Bryce Young, but he threw it. He surprised me. All right, this is a good starting point, honestly.
Yes.
Better than I thought. So I'm a little excited about him. Hopefully he can heal up and maybe come back at a certain point. I don't know. The way they were talking about him is a little sketchy.
A little weird, yeah.
I guarantee Stroud will finish with better stats fantasy-wise.
Yeah, it's done right now.
Missed time.
Yeah,
Richardson would be the better fantasy
because he's playing every game.
He's playing every game. Yeah.
That's how numbers work. No, but on a game-to-game basis, Stroud has been awesome. I think he's been great. Yeah.
Yep. That's all I got.
That's it.
Josh Downs, if he's available. Do you go peeking at him? He had a good week with Minshew.
I mean, you could do worse. Again, it depends on how deep your league is, and it's hard because I tend to be
Claypool to pop.
I tend to be in deeper leagues, like 12, 14 team leagues, and then I see advice that's like, should I drop Christian Watson? He hasn't really been doing anything, and I'm like, what? I don't know.
That's a 10-team question.
Like, when you get your bench, Isaiah Hodgins, like you can't have a better bench player than Christian Watson if that's what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it all depends on the league and what's out there and what's on your bench. You know, if you have a bunch of flyers, bunch of lottery tickets, maybe you can try to trade one or cash one in for something else if you need actual production now. But I don't know. This has been a very broad stroke of a conversation, but you get it. If you're playing fantasy football, do good. How about that?
Do good. Draft the right players. Put them in your lineup.
The guys that score more, put them in your lineup.
Put those in your lineup, and if they're
leave on the bench.
More points wins.
Easy.
More points wins.
I can't stream a tight end or a defense this year. It drives me nuts. I had Washington last week. They got -1.
Yeah, that sucked.
People say if you're streaming 2 positions, you made a mistake.
I do it every year, so I don't know if it's a mistake or just a psychosis that I've locked myself in. So
you have to batter that.
One of those. Yeah. All right, thanks everybody. We'll be back next week with more action. 6score.com is where you can head in the meantime for all the latest updates, practice reports, all that good stuff. Any closing words, Justin?
No.
Packers specifically.
No, that's it. It's a bye week. We're good. We're winning this week. Or we're not losing, I should say. So no L's this week.
I appreciate you adding to my team's win total on Monday.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Hey man,
for that. Yes.
You thank Max Crosby for that.
Yes,
he thanks Max Crosby for every win.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. They get wins. I do that every time. Yes.
All right, thanks everyone.